Hello and welcome back to Ravenstorm Studios, and today I will be reading part 5 of Feathers and Elswhere University Tale. Just a quick disclaimer before we hop into the video that there will be mild to moderate coarse language, so if you are a child, please have a parent or guardian have a quick look at this video before watching. And with that, let's hop in. Part 5. Hair ruffled and wind-blown, clothes tugged askew, the four of you stared down at the book. 13 clears his throat. Yeah, one of you can carry that. I'm new to all this shit, but I'm still pretty damn sure I don't want to touch that. He pops a stray grape into his mouth as if trying to emphasize his point. Cat Eyes laughs, a little hysterical. We just had a picnic with the Crow Prince, Feathers. With the Crow Prince. Next to her, Not Jenna stretches out a hand to lift up the cover a scarce half an inch. Whatever she sees is enough to make her snatch her hand back with a squeak and let the cover fall shut. Feathers, this book is definitely for you. Specifically, she says. You have to sigh. Of course it is. You waffle for a moment. It would be smarter to take the book back to your dorm. Definitely smarter. You're getting sick of running scared to your dorm after every excursion, though. And anyway, if you were smart, you'd have never come back here, armed to the teeth with pearls and salt and the scent of flowers. You reach out, snag the book, drag it onto your lap. You hover a hand over the cover, wait for someone to object. No one does. You flip the book open and nothing happens. You're a little disappointed, to be honest. Just as you let your hand fall away from the book, you're startled by a coarse, hacking call. Leaving without me? Barnes croaks, and if the Crow Prince hadn't knocked everything askew with his leaving, Barnes would have with his arrival. You lean back as Barnes ruffles its wings. Bad feathers, it caws again, accusing. You look at your companions. They stare back, as bemused as you are. Ah, you want to come with us? You ask Barnes. Crow girl, without a crow, it tells you, hopping closer to you and turning its head to peer at you, tone scolding. Not quite a crow girl. Well, you say. Not Jenna shrugs. Cat Eyes makes a face that seems to indicate she agrees, and 13 is still too hung up on the talking crow thing to be of any help. Barnes clacks its beak at you, clearly annoyed. You shrug at the others and tell it, well, if you want to come with us, I'm certainly not going to tell you no, now, am I? Barnes hawks out a noise you're pretty sure is supposed to be an exclamation of joy, and the book on your lap flashes. The wind picks up. The pages start flapping, and the whole world turns bright. So bright, star bright. So bright it hurts your ears, and your eyes burn even as you cover them. Barnes, hurrah, 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 and the rustle of wings follow you down into unconsciousness. Light flashes. It seems as though all around you ceases to be. The curtain pulls back. The door opens. The world fades out. You hear through the rush in your ears of the dissolution of your sense of self, the susurrus of feathers, cool tones of a voice amused, cawing very quietly as if from far away. This too fades. You fade. You are. A pause. Confusion, white and consuming, gradually lessening. Why confusion? No reason. Simpler to simply be. But a thought. There should be more. But whose thought? Why? And from where? Disorientation. More confusion. But also curiosity. Why disorientation? Why not simply orientation? Why orient at all? How, for that matter? There is nothing around you. You are nothing. Wait, you? There isn't a you. That's preposterous. Why would there be a you? You. All that is, all that was, all that will ever be, all that could be. Maybe there was a you, maybe there will be, but not here, not like this. You? No, the abyss says. Why not, you wonder? The world snaps back, the abyss pulls away, and you clutch your arms hard, fingers white-knuckled around your own flesh. You drag in a shuddering breath, and then do it again, and again, and again, until it catches in your throat, and then, mortifyingly, you're crying, knees to your chest, face against your knees, arms about your head, nails digging moons into your skin, choking on your own existential dread made more real than you have ever wanted it to be. You're left reeling from the journey, and it was a journey. As soon as you pull yourself together, you'll look up and be in Underhill. So you had better pull yourself together soon. You can feel the abyss pressing back down on you, following that thread of obsidian cord horror unspooling in your chest, and tugging. You made it out, and it wants you back. Interrupting a voice out of the dark that covers me. It takes you years and years and years, a moment, to realize the Crow Prince. That was the Crow Prince speaking. He repeats, out of the dark that covers me, and like a spell, like a geas, it draws the answering words from your throat, black as pitch from pole to pole. You sound like a crow, voice gravel and rust, rasping fit to file metal. I thank whatever gods may be, he trails off, and again you answer, for my unquerable soul, you've always loved this poem, you've recited it to the crows many a time, the spool in your chest winds back up a little, the abyss hovers a little less slowly. You go through the whole poem with the Crow Prince, line by line, fell clutch and bloodied yet unbowed, and this place of wrath and tears, and finds and shall find me unfaithful. Damn fucking portent words, the lot of them. You choke them out anyway. When you finish, he starts again, and you share Invictus back and forth until your breathing evens out. Your heart rate drops down to something normal, and the call of the abyss is as a whisper from rooms and rooms away. You raise your head from where it's been pressing into your knees, stare blearily around you, worn, hollowed out. You're sitting in the middle of a round, Spartan room, maybe 25 feet across, furnished only with carpeting and a single table beside a narrow window. Everything is in grayscale. The walls are rough-hewn, slate-colored stone. The room is only dimly illuminated by floating orbs filled with flickering blue flames. The rug you're sitting on is probably white, maybe beige, but you couldn't actually say for sure. The light makes the color seems to slip away from everything, though it throws both the blue of the Crow Prince's feathers and the patterned silk of his clothes, draped and folded and stretched by his crouched position beside you, into sharply highlighted relief. He looks not apologetic, not regretful, not embarrassed, but maybe something close. When you meet his eyes are soft anyway. I had not thought, he says, carefully, like he's picking his way through a field of broken glass on bare feet. Words alone fit to clear the way of what might happen to a traveller who lacked the protection of their name. It's not an apology, but it's enough to know he might offer one, were it not so dangerous. You just nod and then ask, after Cat Eyes 13, not Jenna, did they come with you, you wonder? They came, is the answer, but not with you. The answer unsettles something in you, and you lay a hand against your chest in a silly attempt to calm it. The Crow Prince sees, and his serious expression turns wry. Clutching pearls, he asks, and just like that, you're back on your game. You only wish they were yours, you parry, and you feel the fabric of this place flex at you. Here you are at the heart of the domain of a member of the gentry, of a prince, speaking, if not as though you are his equal, then certainly as if you are not nearly so far below him. Anyone else, anything else, and that witty remark would have spelt your end, but here Here the thing that rules likes you, lives for clever tricks and sharper wit, makes deals like breathing, cornered you at that revel, answered when you asked for an audience, smiled and laughed and joked and did not insist on formalities. He is gentry, yes, but he is also crow. The brief moment of levity melts away. I do, he says, far too solemnly, and that thing you thought to settle with a hand at your heart thrills. Freshman year, this would have left you breathless, flat-footed, frightened, and not just because he's of the gentry. Now it still steals your breath, but at the thought of potential, what favours could you wring from him? What deals, what gifts, what treasures, what could you buy from him at the cost of your affection? From the Crow Prince, it appears, the answer is quite a lot. Underneath the preening, the gimlet eye considering worth, the consideration of the weight of a heart against feathers, part of you shivers, shrivels. What kind of affection does he want from you? Not Jenna, you know, has staked as much claim on you as a changeling can, and so been claimed in return. But all she wants is company, the easy affection of friends familiar to each other. Does the Crow Prince want your company, or something more? He'll be disappointed if he does. That isn't a price you're willing to pay. He'll be disappointed, or you'll be quite effectively broken, rather. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't. It's not your freshman year. You smile at him, just vicious enough to throw reasonable doubt at any perceived flirtatiousness, and stand to make your way to the narrow window. Let him have your back with an ease to your muscles along the line of your throat. There is more to displays of power than those of force, though that's not something you learned at Elswhere. No, that's down to being a woman. Funny thing about Elswhere, nowhere else have you ever had more respect from strangers. Quite the opposite of what you expected when you enrolled. Before you knew, before you got involved, when statistics like 1 in 4 were bandied about, 2 in between young women. You stand at the window, prop your hip against the table, and gaze out of it for your first real look at Underhill. Well, the Crow Prince's piece of Underhill anyway. Far below you, far, far below. Jesus, you may be up higher than the Empire State Building. You can see the pale bones of trees stretching towards the sky. A path winds through the forest, and it is a forest. Trees packed so tight and tangled together you can't see the forest floor, even though the trees are bare, back and forth, crossing itself over and over. The sky itself has gone vibrant pink of sunset, streaks of cloud illuminated purple and orange, and every color in between, by the last rays of day. You lean out the slightest bit, glance up, take a guess. Highest room in the tallest tower, huh? He shrugs, and elegant twist of his muscles, manipulating bones under the cover of skin, tells you it's traditional. I'm no princess. I am no dragon. And yet here we are, hangs in the air. You take a second look around the room. There's no door. You look back at him and he's smiling, just the tiniest bit. No door, a narrow window, a tall tower, missing companions. This, you know, is a test. You lean back out the window. The farther out you lean, the wider it seems to be. Do you know where they are? If they're all right, you ask, and take a moment to be proud that your voice doesn't waver as you gaze at the ground far, far below you. The soft whisper of feathers sliding against themselves fills your ears. You refuse to let yourself startle when he lays first one hand, then another, on your shoulder blades. The prick of talons through your shirt gives rise to goose pimples all up and down your arms. It was you who opened the way, you who took the brunt of the impact, he murmurs, then continues more purposefully. Can you see them? Your first instinct is to tell him no. Of course not. But you're Underhill. Who knows what is and what isn't possible? So you force down the twist of your lip and bite back the words in your throat. Narrow your eyes, then blur them. But no, you can't see them, if they're down there at all. You shake your head. He sighs a little bit. Well, it would have made things much easier if you could. But I suppose there are other ways. You lick your lips, knuckles deathly white on the stone edge of the window, talon tips pressing just hard enough that you can't tell if he's yet drawn blood. This the part where I trade you my lipstick for a cloak of feathers, you ask? Only I'm not sure I have your colour, or what your colour is for that matter. You wouldn't mind being able to fly, but you have a sneaking suspicion that this isn't the way this is going. The Crow Prince laughs, tells you, "No, girl who sings to crows, we're not trading for wings today. But who knows, you might just find a pair on your own." You're not exactly surprised when he shoves you, but it still comes as a shock. Regardless, there's little you can do to stop him. You tumble, screaming murder, bloody murder the whole way down. You're not sure if this means you passed or failed the test. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.